Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribunal? Because also with
I've been waiting for something like this for so long. This is so much fun.
I'm just trying to see this.
You have the right to walk.
I have the right to travel, don't I?
Yeah, taking your happy-go-lucky feet. You want to travel? Take those 2 feet to travel, not in a car.
Just what the 14th Amendment was saying, like I have the right to travel.
You do, yes, and you can walk your happy ass from one part to the other part. Not in a car, though. You want every single witness in Harris County? That's what that's asking for.
You have to properly represent myself for the case.
That's 4.2 million people. Really?
Strap in, because today's courtroom drama starts off like a late-night comedy set, except the punchlines are unintentional and the stakes are real. Our sovereign citizen of the hour kicks things off by rejecting the court's authority under common law and somehow dragging military tribunals into the mix. Yep, we're already off the legal rails. The judge, not missing a beat, snaps back with a sarcastic jab about his foot-traveling lifestyle. It's the perfect opening act to what quickly becomes a bizarre battle between courtroom fantasy and the cold, hard facts of reality. And we're just getting started.
I mean, you're saying a true and complete original and or certified copy of the alleged is not even spelled correctly.
That's why I travel very cautious. I don't.
You just said I drive.
I'm saying I
drive.
very
You said the magic words.
Yeah, I was a driver.
Come on. Don't be Helen Keller. Come on. All right. So today is September 11th, 2024. It's approximately 12:25 p.m. We are now in Court 5. In front of me, I have Eaton Emitum, case number 2522688. Would you please identify yourself for purpose of the record?
Living man, Eaton Emitum.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? That you're going to tell the truth. That's it. Yes? Okay. State, would you identify?
Petrov on behalf of the state.
Okay. So the reason that we're putting this on the record now is Mr. Emitum has been charged with the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon. The case is 40 days old. It appears that probable cause has already been found. I don't know if I did probable cause on this, or if I don't know if another judge did, because I don't remember Mr. Emitum, and I was out a week.
Now here's where things take a sharp left turn, from absurd to alarmingly real. The judge starts laying out the formal charges: carrying an illegal weapon, stolen checks linked to a restaurant break-in, expired registration, and a marijuana bust. Suddenly, this isn't just some eccentric courtroom rambling. It's a stack of serious offenses. What began as quirky courtroom antics now feels like watching someone walk into quicksand, with every charge dragging them deeper. The room goes from smirks to silence real fast.
Lollygagging. So let's just do it first.
On August 2nd, 2024, officers observed a car without a front license plate, changed lanes without a signal, and have expired registration as of March 2023. Upon approaching, officers smelled marijuana. PC search returned 4.17 grams and a loaded Smith & Wesson handgun. Additionally, there was a backpack with 3 checks that did not belong to him. Officer called Kumamoto, who said the checks were stolen from her restaurant on July 8th. When defendant broke the front window, went to the back where the checks were kept in the office, broke the hinge of the back door, and exited.
So as a result, because of that, he was charged with felony fraud on that one.
That's
on the
correct.
check. Okay. Yes, he has an open case in the 182nd. Looks like he made a $15,000 bond. With us, I am going to find there's probable cause to go forward. Well, hold on a second. We'll get there. I'll let you say your piece, but do you have a Texas driver license?
I have a U.S. private property number with the FMCSA. What my vehicle was on there, it was sticker tags, everything with my business, the Amazon Estates. That's with the Department of Transportation.
Is that from the state of Texas or from where?
This is federal. This is with the Department of Transportation.
Okay, no, but you still need a Texas driver license and you need registration and
I did
on a
all my steps
vehicle.
with them because it was private property that I had. They said I didn't, if I didn't need to get registration with the state of Texas because I registered it. And they said that would be my voluntary, but since it's private property, I wouldn't have to register it.
Okay. From what I know of the law, you need a Texas driver license to be able to drive.
Next up, we enter full delusion territory. Eom tries to argue that his vehicle falls under federal transportation codes, not Texas law, as if that's going to magically exempt him from local regulations. He pulls out the classic private property card like it's a get-out-of-jail-free pass. But the judge doesn't even flinch. With calm authority, she reminds him that, yes, Texas still requires a driver's license. Fantasy codes are not. Eom thought he was slick. Turns out, he was just speeding toward a legal wall with no brakes.
This is, what jurisdiction is this case being tried on? That's what I'm trying to, because I kind of don't know what it's being tried on.
It's
Criminal, civil? Or,
criminal, yeah,
so
right? You're facing jail time, right?
I believe so. But
Weren't you taken to jail?
yeah.
So that wouldn't lead you to believe it's criminal, right?
Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribunal? Because also with
Oh, I've been waiting for something like this for so long. This is so much fun.
I'm just trying to see what I'm being tried on, because what I was told with the US side, I wouldn't have to register it with the state of Texas, with the registration or licensing. I do have my own place with that vehicle too as well, so.
You need a license to drive, a Texas driver license. That's it. You either have one or you don't. The federal government has regulated to the states through the Constitution that they have allowed the states on their own initiative to create laws regarding driving on highways and byways. So that's why you see every single state has different requirements for licensing, insurance, mode of transportation. The federal government has somewhat to do with it, but by and large, they have delegated to the states that they are their own entity with regard to creating laws in their specific highways. So that's why every single state has a different type of license, different type of insurance. Like the Texas driver license is white versus Arkansas might be yellow or red, or Hawaii might be. So that's every single state has their own laws with regard. In Texas, you have to have a Texas driver license. You also have to have liability insurance as a minimum in the event that you get into an accident. Those are the two main requirements that you need to drive. If you're going to drive a vehicle, it also has to be registered so that they know that you're driving the vehicle and that you own it or have the right to have that, so it's not a stolen vehicle.
Get ready for a crash course in constitutional reality. The judge breaks it down with zero fluff. The U.S. Constitution gives states the power to regulate roads. That's right, each state calls the shots on licenses, registrations, and everything in between. So no, quoting obscure internet codes doesn't mean you get to skip traffic laws. This is the part where Google logic meets gavel logic, and the judge isn't here for your search history. She corrects his misinformation with facts. That hit harder than any argument he's got.
I own the vehicle and everything. When I was here the last hearing with the judge, like what he was saying, he said that when it had applied to me, but he was going to see what they were going to say about the other court about the probable cause of stopping me, because he said registration when it had in the front license plate when it had applied to me.
It does apply. It applies to everybody. Everybody has to have a back license plate. They also have to have a front license plate. And so much, they also tell you where it has to be on the car. They regulate, you can't put it in the windshield.
State, right?
State,
yeah,
right. They tell you where it has to be. You can't put it on the windshield. You can't put it on, like on what's it called, on the light. It's got to be right there. They even tell you how many centimeters it's supposed to be from the street to the actual place on the car. That's how bad the state of Texas micromanages all these things. They even tell you how many damn centimeters it's got to be on the car. So you have to have a front license plate. You got to have a license, got to have insurance. So if you don't have that, you can't drive. And that's it.
Now things start getting both hilarious and painful. The judge starts reciting Texas vehicle regulations down to the centimeter, literally explaining how far off the ground a license plate must be. It's courtroom micromanagement at its finest. And just like that, Eom's fantasy of sovereign motoring crumbles. His reaction? Pure silence. Because in that moment, it hits him. The law isn't just big ideas and buzzwords, it's incredibly detailed rules. And Texas? They've got those. Rules carved in concrete.
Tell them I was traveling. I wasn't arguing with them, but I was traveling. I wasn't making commerce. I used to do medical transportation, so I'm kind of aware with licensing, the registration, and everything. That's why with my private vehicles, I did that with the U.S. DOT instead of the state. And I didn't know that was
Correct. You need a license. It doesn't matter whether you're saying you're conveying, whether you're traveling, whether you're, driving. It's a privilege. It's not a right. Right? There's a big difference between a privilege versus a right. You have the right to walk.
I have the right to travel, don't I?
Yeah, and taking your happy-go-lucky feet. You want to travel? Take those 2 feet to travel, not in a car.
Just what the 14th Amendment was saying, like I have the right to travel.
You do, yes, and you can walk your happy ass from one part to the other part. Not in a car though, not without a license and insurance.
What's on there from what I did this with the Department of Transportation. They said automobiles were on there, carrier, bicycles.
They're wrong. I'm just telling you now, they're wrong. Whoever told you that, whoever, where you got that, it's complete. Because imagine this, Mr. Emiton, and I've seen this before. Imagine.
Then the judge hits him with a reality check that lands like a gut punch. She paints a brutal what if. Imagine driving uninsured, hitting a child, and then watching your entire life unravel financially. Suddenly, this isn't just about codes, and claims it's about real-world consequences, lawsuits, liens, losing everything you own. Eom walked in with wild theories, but he's leaving with a haunting look at what happens when your ideas collide with real tragedy.
You get into an accident, right? And you kill a 5-year-old kid. What's going to happen at that point? Whoever owns that car, the other people, they're going to come after you. They're not going to go after they're going to come after you. The first thing they're going to do is, do you have insurance? And if you don't have insurance, they're going to sue you. And then they're going to attach a lien on absolutely everything that you own to satisfy the judgment they get against you. And they will take your house, they will take your car, they will take your bank account, they will attach to where if you ever want to start working and get a paycheck, they're going to garnish all that money. You have insurance, liability insurance, so that if you ever get into an accident, you don't mean to do it. You didn't mean to kill the kid. It's not an purposement. It's an accident. And accidents happen. You might be looking at your phone. You're looking at, this pretty girl that's walking across the street, and then boom, you have insurance so that if that happens, the insurance company will pay on your behalf, so you don't have to pay out of your own pocket. And they will even give you a lawyer to represent you on your behalf, because that's what you pay for when you get insurance. If you get into an accident, lawyers usually call you and say, hey man, tell me what happened. Was it your fault or was it the other people's fault? Because we want to know who to pay. And that's why for $30 to $40 a month, you get insurance for that very purpose. And I've seen people come here, they have killed someone and they get a $250,000 judgment against them. I've seen it. And God, you'll never dig yourself out of that. So the conveying.
This is where the tone changes fast. The judge sets aside the sarcasm and drops real wisdom. A simple $40 a month insurance plan could be the difference between recovery and financial devastation. Eom keeps trying to argue transportation codes, like he's reading from a broken script, but the judge is done entertaining fiction. Her message is crystal clear. No license, no insurance, no driving. It's not about philosophy. It's about responsibility. And this moment hits harder than any legal handbook ever could.
This, that, you need a license. You gotta have insurance. And we do it with every single person that comes in.
Can I say for the unlawful carry? The possession of marijuana, the person that was in the vehicle told the officer it was legal hemp that they got from the store. They have receipts and everything in Texas. You can have legal hemp. They got it from the store, even told the officer it was theirs. He pulled me out the car. He didn't ask for any paperwork.
Now, I mean, now you're making the apples and oranges, right? Now we got to test it. Is it weed?
Oh yeah,
Is it him?
That's it.
Understand that takes time, but you also need a lawyer to represent you.
I found my own discovery. I was representing myself pro se.
And you can do that if you want.
Yeah.
But we have to go through a series of questions.
I represented myself plenty of times. I had dismissals here from Harris
Remember,
County.
and for purposes of the record, so Mr. Emitom had a case with me here. It was actually June 7th of 2022. He was charged with another gun case, and that was with Victoriano. God, that was a great DA too.
Eom tries to flex a past dismissal like it's proof his tactics work, but the judge is quick to call him out. She calmly explains that every case has its own facts, and one dismissal doesn't mean the law suddenly stops applying. She even brings up a gun case she tossed in the past, but this isn't that. His argument gets weaker with every word as she reminds him that this moment, this evidence, this context is what matters. And right now, it's all pointing toward probable cause.
And I found no probable cause in that case, right? So you didn't represent yourself in that case. I found no probable cause and they dismissed it. They didn't have to dismiss it, but they did dismiss it. So other than that case, have you ever represented yourself?
Yeah, many times. I have dismissals all through here from Harris County. Traffic violations.
You're welcome to do it, and who's one of the worst, who's one of the best presidents that in history that you can think about right now?
Wonderful to me right now.
You can't think of one good president that we've ever had?
I don't know any.
Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't good?
I never met him. I don't know about him at that time.
Abraham Lincoln said something. He goes, you know what? He who represents himself has a fool for a client.
Then comes the final blow. The judge drops a quote from Abraham Lincoln. He who represents himself has a fool for a client. And oof, it lands hard. She breaks down how personal bias clouds judgment, how ego can blind even the smartest. People in court. Eom thinks he can outtalk the system, but the judge reminds him he'll be held to the same standard as a seasoned attorney. This isn't just a warning. It's history, reason, and experience wrapped into one sharp reality. Check.